So this is a new piece which has a little bit of backstory, which was I was really excited about the theme scars because I'm pretty into scars in general as a concept. And the backstory is I was on vacation all of last week, and when I said I was going to do this, my partner was like, yeah, and you're going to write this when you're on vacation? And I was like, no, it's going to be done before we go. And I finished it last night, so when I got home. So that's the backstory on that. I've always wanted, it's pretty funny, I agree. I've always wanted scars. Wanted them thick and visible, stretching across my arms, chest, legs. I wanted scars, deep, ragged, and raw, to show the world I'd been somewhere, that I'd seen and felt things so deeply that my flesh had broken open in order to let out the pain and longing and power of emotion. But I've never been much of a cutter, and my skin stayed solid. Instead, I handed fistfuls of money to men with ink and needles and let them trace battle zones and funerals across my skin. But there is some difference between tattoos and scars, and so here I stand on this stage in Tom's living room trying to tell you about scars you can't see, the ones below the ocean's surface, deep in my bloodstream turned ocean, the scars that moved me from human to the mightiest of invertebrae, all 8 legs reaching, sucking you in, begging you to listen to me tell you about scars, the ones that zigzag my aorta. When I was 17, I had my heart broken. At 17, I had never kissed a girl, but I was drowning in queerness. Yet, what I loved more than anything were dogs. I knew everything about them, could tell you what the breed was on sight, and what it was bred for, and its country of origin, and I could top it off with more things than you ever wanted to know about its size and temperament. All of these things made me incredibly popular at school. They made me even more popular with all the dykes I wanted to sleep with. My heart was broken by circumstance, by loss and betrayal, by queerness so palpable that my family could no longer hide it, could no longer tolerate it. My heart broke when I left with no choice but to walk away, when my dogs were taken from me. When I came out as queer, I lost my parents and my home, but that had been years since it had felt like my own. Queerness cost me my pack. I'd stayed silent all those years in order to protect them, lying to friends about bruises and making up elaborate tales to keep school officials from asking too many questions. Queerness is the lie I never knew how to keep. Have you ever really felt your heart break? Felt tendons and valves detach, stretching until splitting, sending oxygenated blood flowing over your lungs like a deep red waterfall? When I lost my dogs, I thought I would die. Not in a melodramatic teen poet sort of way, but real heart-stopping death. My heart stretched like the leashes they pulled at to get closer to me when I was left with no choice but to walk away. I felt my atrium rip and veins tear, capillaries splitting open. Losing them broke my heart in two. See this tattoo? That's for them. When an octopus is frightened or angry or hurt, it sprays ink. I do the same thing, only I don't feel subway cars with black murkiness. I cover my skin with it as a barrier, a shield, armor that protects my hearts. Yes, hearts, because like an octopus, I've got 3 beating within this rib cage. 3 because at 17, my heart broke so bad it split in 2. And then years later, it learned to love again, learned that people weren't all bad and love was possible, family was buildable, and it hurt so good that the second heart, the one that had split from the first, broke again, leaving me with these 3 pulsing together like an ocean current. Learning to love was about finding community of scarred people, of people whose bodies carried memories coursing down their arms and legs like rivers. We swapped stories, lives, and scars. We'd tell tales of the lost, our families, homes, and communities, but also of dreams, of the families we'd build, the apartments we'd have. On quiet nights, we'd share names, the ones our elementary school teachers used, and the ones we'd wrapped around us like armor when we built families in youth centers and on streets, the names we owned when we lost everything else. We hold spaces sacred and close, tell the stories we'd never dared whisper aloud before this moment, expose our squishy underbellies crisscrossed with scars, trusting someone else with our weakness. My arms are scarred with ink and memories of those late night conversations, more valuable than my college education ever will be. When my heart broke the first time, I thought I would die. When it cracked the second, I thought I would float away on the power of trust and community. The bursting sent blood cascading like great tidal waves through my fingers to lap upon the shores of my skin. This break was less laceration and more explosion. I saw the world differently, more vividly. I loved so hard I split veins and left ventricles fraying at the edges. By the time we'd met, I already had 3 hearts beating in my barnacle-encrusted ribcage, though the final one still wept when I thought no one was looking. You staunched the bleeding with pink anemones, replaced the open gash with a deep red scar that holds memories of what love is capable of. The sweet memories of playing Scrabble over dinner, of rolling down Northeast Portland Park hills, of being chased out of treetops, steaming boxes of pad thai takeout cradled in our hands, of pop-over Mario Sundays, of pirate birthday treasure hunts and blacking boots and hand-holding. My third heart now beats in time with the others, no longer wound, but water-worn solid scarring. Last year, a man at a college gig asked me, seriously, with everything I've lived through and everything I've seen, if I really thought I was capable of love, because he's pretty sure it would be impossible. For me, love is the only thing that matters. Love has the power to destroy, but it's also what saved me. Love is the knife that carved every scar on all 3 of my hearts, and it's behind every drop of ink on my skin. It's what I've built my life on. I write a whole lot about pain and loss and homelessness, abuse and betrayal. But that's not my whole story. When my tattoos are gone and my bones are ash, I want to be remembered for how much I loved, not how many times I cried.